Good afternoon, class. I just want to say hi real quick. I sent out a whole lot of emails today, and I don't want all of our communication to be via texty type stuff like email. So I just want to touch base real quick through video. I'm not going to make video announcements every day, but I do want to make them towards the beginning of the class here just to sort of touch base, make sure we're on the right path. First of all, I want to talk about the Module 0 Explain Your Work practice. So I talked about this a little bit yesterday, but again, the idea of this is to prepare you for what happens on our actual exams. On our actual exams, you're going to have to record yourself explaining a couple problems and showing your work for it. I want to stress that on this practice thing in Module 0, I'm expecting to see both an image and a video. So even if your video contains the image of your work, I still want two separate files. For the video, it might be helpful to post it to YouTube or else one of the cloud sites. So by cloud sites, I'm talking about Microsoft OneDrive, talking about Google Drive, Dropbox, anything like that, that if you want to put it there and use a sharing link and send it to me, that's perfectly fine. If you're going to put it on YouTube and put the link there, that's fine. You can attach the raw file in MyOpenMath, but sometimes when you're attaching big files, it won't attach right because there is a size limit. So sometimes sharing just gets the job done easier. The other thing I want to touch base on is the Module 0 quiz. Make sure that you get 100% on that. You will be able to move on to Module 1 no matter what, but Module 2 and beyond are closed until you get 100% on the Module 0 quiz. Now, it might take up to 5 minutes after you complete the Module 0 quiz for those other modules to show up. The basic reason behind that, behind the scenes, what's going on, MyOpenMath is a whole separate system than Blackboard. It waits until you have 5 minutes of the same score on something before it sends it back to Blackboard. That way it's just not constantly sending stuff back and forth. It says, all right, let's make sure you're actually done with this assignment before I send the information to Blackboard. So Blackboard is the thing that's actually dictating whether you can see Modules 2 and beyond. So just be a little bit patient that if you finish the Module 0 quiz and you're expecting to see Module 2 right away, it might take a couple minutes. The other thing I want to talk about is Module 1. So as we're making our way through Module 1, there's a lot of information, not a lot of calculation type stuff in this first module. Module 1, though, is the basis for the rest of the course. So knowing what a good sample is and how to take one is important as we move forward in the rest of the course. Also, just the general idea of what we're doing with statistics, to realize that statistics is not a normal math class. This is not a class that I'm going to be telling you, follow step 1, step 2, step 3, get an answer. Plug your answer back in and check it. That's not really what we're doing here. This class is a lot more about critical thinking and problem solving. So I'm going to be teaching you topics, general ideas, and then I've set up the assignments to guide you towards your reasoning. So it's not so much that you're just going to regurgitate what I tell you. It's not a class like that. This class is going to be a lot more critical thinking, where you have to take the information that I give you, put 2 and 2 together on your own, and come up with a conclusion, come up with some sort of reasoning. Last thing I want to talk about for today is a general game plan for approaching this class. This is definitely not a class that you want to wait till the last day before stuff's due and cram it all into one day. This is definitely a class that you need to spend a little bit of time every day. And it goes back to the last point that I was just making about putting 2 and 2 together. Your brain biologically needs time for stuff to sink in. So you want to make sure that you're doing the learning activities one day, watching the videos, maybe touching on a little bit of the problem set, but then taking a step back, letting that stuff sink in. Walk around, go take a hike. Literally. I'm literally getting ready to myself. But go do something for your day, but then come back to your work or come back the next day. But let it sink in for a little bit. And so you want to have some sort of game plan for the 4 days that each module has. So my basic game plan that I would go with if I were you is on day 1, I'd read through the overview, the learning activities, watch the videos, and try to make it through the video lesson. On day 2, I'd work through the problem set. Now in doing so, you're going to have questions. You're going to send me questions through the message the instructor feature, and you might not get a response back immediately. But then when you log in the next day on day 3, you should have responses from me. And if not, first thing in the morning, you'll get responses from me. That way you can go fix the problem set. And on day 3, you're going to work on the analysis. Or in the case of Module 1, the investigating statistics in the media. And as you work on that, again, if you have questions, you can ask me. So I would aim, if I were you, to finish every module at least 24 hours before the deadline. And that way, if you have questions or concerns, you have time to do that whole online communication that takes some back and forth. And if you finish everything in the first 3 days and you have no questions, then either you can start moving ahead in the course and be ahead of schedule, or take a day off and just relax. Whatever floats your boat. But that's my message for today. I'll send out some more information tomorrow, obviously. If you have questions in the meantime, let me know. Just to also fill you in, my game plan for the rest of today, I'm going to be looking over those that have submitted the Module 0 Explain Your Work already. Look through them, make sure that they're looking good. And I'm going to send you a message through My Open Math regardless. So whether it's good or whether it needs some updates, I'll send you a message through My Open Math. You can access those messages by logging in to any of the assignments in Module 1 or beyond. So if you're looking at Module 1 video lesson or problem set, you log in, and in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see a messages link. And there'll be an envelope icon over there that you can click on, gets you to the messaging feature. That only works on an actual computer. It does not work on a mobile device, so you should be doing your work on an actual computer. So that's on my agenda today. I'm also planning on looking through your personal introductions in the discussion board. I'd like to respond to each and every one of you to welcome you to the class. And if you have any concerns that you brought up, to address those as well, but really just to say hi and welcome you to the class. So anyhow, that's my plan for the rest of the day. I'm going to go take a hike first, maybe do some grocery shopping, but by the end of today, you'll see those couple things that I mentioned. I will get those done today, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.